All right, greetings, good day. Welcome to you all. You are tuned in to the Peak Wellness Hour. So excited as always to be here with you all. We were not here last Saturday, but we have a great conversation prepared for you today. We are talking, it's National Talk Money Day. November 8th is National Talk Money Day. And that is exactly what the Peak Wellness Hour is going to do with you. We want you to be open minded. We want you to feel free and comfortable here to learn and grow and be empowered. Let's not be afraid to talk about our success and our wealth that is in our future. So if you're ready, make sure you grab a pen and paper. Make sure you invite a friend. You know we want you to like and share. If you've not subscribed yet, why not? Do so, please and thank you. So stay tuned. We're going to dive into this conversation. Can't wait. All right. Welcome back. We're going to dive right into this conversation. Again, we are talking about National Talk Money Day for November 8th with the Peak Wellness Hour. We are in November. I want you all to remember with the holidays coming up, we want to talk about being stress free today. From here on out, not just with the holidays coming up, because a lot of us like to spend frivolously and not so consciously sometimes, especially when it comes to holiday seasons and festive times of the year. So we're going to give you some tools to do just that, to save, to earn, to invest, all that good stuff. So without further ado, I'm going to have Queen Edith go ahead and just come on, bring us in. I tell you what, I'm excited today. She's done a great outline for us to cover. So we have some great things coming. You said what, Queen?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah. So I can't wait to hear what she has. If you all have not, we're going to talk about this later, but Queen Eve's got some amazing things going on. So I can't wait to hear what flows from her belly today to empower you. So, Queen.
Good morning, good morning, friends, family, and good day from friends to friends across the nations. I know it's not only people in the United States, and so being 5 hours ahead of Ghana now with the time change, so it's 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 3:30 p.m. almost in Ghana. That's unbelievable. But thank you so much for joining us. We are in the month of Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for? I'd like to see it in the notes. What are you thankful for all through the year? What are you really thankful for? Queen, what are you thankful for?
Oh, I tell you what, this week has been so challenging. I am certainly grateful for life and my health. I've lost some people this week as far as patients and whatnot, family. So it's been really challenging. And I was telling my Queen Mother earlier, it's sad when we see unfortunate things that have to make us recall our level of gratitude. So we always want to be mindful that there is always room for Thanksgiving and for thankfulness and for gratitude. So yes, I'm certainly great. And it sounds really vague, grateful for life, but it is a big deal because somebody did not wake up to hear this, to say that, to whatever. So yes, definitely. How about you,
It
Queen?
it doesn't sound vague to me at all. I'm definitely thankful for life. I'm thankful for how far the Lord has brought us. I'm thankful for peak home care, for peak wellness hour, and I'm thankful for you and what we do here because it's it's not something I take for granted at all. Coming here, having the opportunity to share, and having people taking their time to be here with us and to support us. It's amazing. I'm thankful for all of that. But I'm also thankful for the topic today. It is not my
Mhm.
forte, so I know Queen G is going to do a whole lot of the talking because money, money day, talk money day. Wow, what is that? What is that? And we are going to switch it. We are going to talk about money, but we're also talking about whole person wealth.
Mhm.
Because wealth, what is wealth? Okay, the whole person wealth. So we are not only making it money as in what is in your bank account, but what gives you wealth? What makes you a person wealthy? Okay, so this is what I want to see. I want to see you drop what you are thankful for. We're going to do this every Saturday when we come online. What you're thankful for, and also what city you are watching from. We want to know what city you are watching from. And what does it say? Share your 2025 money word. Queen, what is that? Oh, okay, so it says maybe it's freedom, maybe it's confidence, maybe it's stability, or maybe it's just peace. Your 2025 money word day. So whatever it is for you, we would like you to know. And what do you want your money to feel like next year? Oh God, don't ask me that question. What do you want your money to feel like this year? I want it to feel like I never have to not do anything for lack of finances. I don't
Mhm.
want to be limited because I don't have the finances. So it
Mhm.
means I want to have available resources financially to do whatever it is I feel like. I don't want to use I feel like. I know it's needed to be done. Thank you
Mhm.
so much. So please invite a friend, grab your pen. I have my notebook right in front of me here. Grab your pen, grab your notebook because Queen G, this is her forte and she's going to take us in. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Queen. I want to ask in Grand Rising. I know my Queen Mother was in the digital building. Queen Kathy B with the United Empires of Akibaline is here. My Queen Aunt Betty's here.
Ladies.
Thank you for everyone that is here now and that will be later. So thank you all. We are certainly grateful for you all. We cannot count that out. We cannot overlook that. So thank you so much. We certainly appreciate you all sincerely. So when you talk about what money feels like, I want to talk about that for a second. And what that really means. When you open your mail and you have this pre-approved $3,000 credit card limit, is that what it feels like when you are grabbing that ATM card and pulling money out? That is that what it feels like? Is paying your bills what it feels like? Visualization is so important when it comes to overall wealth. Okay. Money, currency is just a means to balance out everything else in your life. It does not fix anything. If you're not careful with it, a lot of times it causes problems. Money. I'm sure we can all agree with that. You have someone come into the lottery, you find all people out of the woodworks, but when you're broke, nobody's there to help. Money can be really funny if you don't understand how to operate in it and operate in the mindset of wealth. So, Queen, when you said, what does it feel like to you next year? what are you seeing with this money? And this is a question to the audience. What are you seeing with this money? So now you've gone, you've got six figures or whatever it is you need, you've come into this $1 million, whatever it is. What does it feel like, to not have to struggle? What does that feel like? To be able to pay your bills and maybe bless somebody else, to invest, to have retirement for the future. What is that feeling? Does it feel like safety, like security, like certainty? Think about those things. And it starts with visualization and goals and goals. I know if you're spiritually distressed, if you're physically distressed, emotionally distressed, money does not fix those things, but it is a source to the outcome, in a sense. Is that, if that makes any sense, right? If your health is not well, money doesn't fix your health, but it does give you options for treatment and care. If you're having emotional problems, mental issues, mental imbalance, those finance, that money has those options for your therapy services and your mental health balance. So that's how we want to look at this. We don't want to. A lot of people are chasing riches and not overall wealth. You have a lot of people that are rich and broken. So you have a lot of people that have lots of money and no assets. Is it Jeff Bezos? No. It's Elon Musk. And I don't want to misspeak, but it was a conversation about Elon Musk and how he's, billionaire, but he doesn't have $1 billion in the bank. What Elon Musk did was, with Amazon, with Tesla, I believe more so with Tesla, what he did was, instead of taking a check, he doesn't get a payroll check. He doesn't take money from the company. What he's done was he forfeited an income check for stock. So that stock, when it moves up and down, that's where those finances are. And so when he goes into the bank and he wants to buy a house off the bat, he doesn't have that $1 billion in the bank. He has assets. And they say with those assets, well, because you have these assets,
right,
you have the house. Now here we are sitting on 300 credit scores, 4, 5, 6, even 7. And there's still interest to pay. Fooling with
so
the credit.
much.
So yes, that's my take on how that feels, and the visualization and the reality. If you want the wealth, you have to maneuver and you have to operate like you are abundant, like you have abundance, like you have those finances. You can't get up and, well, I got to go to work because I got to pay these bills because I'm always broke. I got to check my savings and checkings. I always say that, my checking and savings, I'm gonna check the checking and savings, instead of saying, you know what, it's there. I can't go to the concert, but I'm not complaining about my checking and savings. It's a belief system. So when you speak that, if you're always speaking that you broke, oh, I can't wait to retire. I've been saying that since I was about 30, 35, and I'm 43 now. But the mindset has to be there. Is the mindset to get up and go? Is the mindset to be lax and lazy? Is the mindset to be ambitious and motivated? Is the mindset to be complacent? It starts with the mindset. And at 30, having that mindset and understanding what I know now, it would have very well been possible for me to retire at 40, 45. And it's still possible. I got a couple more years. So it's all in the visualization and manifesting that from the inside out, and being realistic about it. And you speak that into existence. You speak in the atmosphere. I'm so grateful that this money's coming. I'm grateful for my abundance. I'm grateful that I have more than enough. I'm grateful that I can bless other people, and watch it come. Watch it come. The other side to that, though, is that when it does come, you have to be ready with what comes with it. I heard a guy one time, and it was a joke, but he wasn't joking. He says, God's blessed me. God's always blessing me. He said, every time he said, I'm sick. I'm sick of God blessing me, because every time he blesses me, I had to turn around and bless somebody else. And that's a wild thing to say. That is a wild thing to say. But think about the abundance and the recurring overflow, the cyclic income that's allowing you to do that. If you don't want to keep getting blessed to have to bless other people, we'll set them up for success, and that'll be your blessing, and then they can bless somebody else. But we have to be smart about it. All because I have the finances coming in doesn't mean I'm just going to shell out money because I have it, but I will provide resources to get you there. You see how you can bless people and elevate people without having this conversation about money. I don't want to tell you about my money because if I do, you're going to ask me for something. I don't want to have to help. It doesn't have to be that. So do not be afraid, Grand Rising Queen Mother, to have that conversation. And we've talked about boundaries plenty of times here. Do not be afraid to have boundaries. We like to subscribe to things, we like to give to everybody. Have boundaries. Have boundaries with that. Learn to say no, and sometimes learn to say yes to yourself. Queen.
You jumped in. You jumped in deep. Like, okay, I'm gonna reel you in a little bit. Just a little
I
bit.
saw you grab your pen.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Grand Rising, Queen Mother, and the Grand Rising. Listen, I have a question. The question is this: we talked about wealth, and you talked about finances, but I need to understand the difference between wealth and money. I do know that both wealth and finances in my mind, uneducated mind, is money, is cash at hand. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Finances in my mind is cash at hand. Liquid money, something you can take
Yes,
right
yes.
now and do something
Mm-hmm.
with it. And I see both wealth and finances
Mm-hmm.
as resources. Okay, very necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Some people quote a Bible scripture that says, um, the love of money is is evil. But we need to
Mm-hmm.
understand this, okay? Money is a great resource. The Bible says money answereth all things. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all things that money can buy. Let's make sure that we
Mm-hmm.
get it. When it says the love of money is something to that effect is evil,
So it's
it
the
means
love of money is the root of, and it actually says the root of all evil. Go
okay.
ahead.
So let me explain that. It
Mm-hmm.
means that if you put your heart into money,
Mm-hmm.
desire for money, the rush for money, the whatever it is to get money over everything else, it will
Mm-hmm.
cause you to do wrong. It doesn't say money is evil. It says the
Mm-hmm.
love of money. It doesn't say having money is the root of evil. The love
Mm-hmm.
of money, making it the number one thing in your life, such
Mm-hmm.
that you put people on the side, you walk over people, trample over people, do whatever it takes to get
Mm-hmm.
money because it's your number one love. That is what is the root of evil. Money is not evil.
Mm-hmm.
Money is good. When
Mm-hmm.
someone comes to me hungry, I should be able to give them money or I should be able to give them food. It's good. Okay. But this thing about money talk, this thing about money talk, it's a way of what is wealth? Queen, I'm gonna ask you, what's the difference between wealth and money? I know it's
Okay,
money talk,
so
but we want to merge the two.
mhm, absolutely. So with like you said, with money, we're talking about currency. Okay.
Okay.
Wealth is, and this is how we tie it in where we talk about wealth is not just about money. Wealth is the abundance of valuable financial assets or physical possessions, which can be converted into a form that can be used for transactions. So that's why I brought up Elon Musk. and how, he can, if he
Queen,
had a,
Queen, easy, 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 easy.
okay.
Okay, you said it's the word. Define it again. I need to get it.
So wealth is the abundance of valuable financial assets or physical possessions, which can be converted into a form that can be used for transactions. Does that make sense?
So there is financial wealth.
Right.
There is emotional wealth.
Mm-hmm.
There is relational wealth. There's time wealth. There's purpose wealth. There's health. Health. Your health is also your wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? Okay. So right
Absolutely,
now we
yes.
are talking about financial wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll let you keep going. Thank you.
No, you're fine. 'Cause I'm gonna let you keep going because I'm gonna get some more to say. I just want to answer your question real quick with the wealth. The key term here is abundance and value. So that's when we talk about, again, owning property, owning things, investments, those kind of things. So what's happening here is with wealth, again, it ties into everything, because now you're investing, now you're saving, now you're creating legacy, generational generational wealth. And in order to do that, there has to be an understanding of how money works. If that makes any sense, that's the big difference with wealth. It's a mindset and abundance of knowledge, where a lot of people have physical finances, but you don't know how to balance your finances. So there's no wealth in that. There's no residual. That's what it is. There's a residual, and a different understanding how to handle and respect wealth, and that goes with your health and your spirit and your mind too. There has to be a balance and an understanding. So yes, but the key word is abundance when we're talking about wealth. So go ahead.
Awesome. Awesome. So talking about financial wealth, because I do know that wealth is a holistic state of well-being.
Mm-hmm.
It's not limited to only finances. There is the
Mm-mm.
financial wealth, which is our focus today. But it's a holistic state of well-being, which involves this, your mental health. Okay, because the mental health is so important that when Queen was speaking, she says it's a mindset which stems from the health of your mental abilities. It's a mindset, so it's a perspective, the way you look at it, or the way we look at it. And this is something I am still getting myself educated on a lot of times. Because if there's anybody who is the worst financial manager I know, it's Edith. It's this lady called Edith. Okay, I don't know if you know her, but she's not good at managing, and she's been saying this for a long time. And it's time for her to change the mindset and say, "I'm gonna learn and I'm gonna apply what I know." Because mentally you may know it, but the ability to apply it, there's so many ways. You were talking about Elon Musk this
Mm-hmm.
week or somewhere last week. I watched a reel, and the reel is talking about how to build wealth, or even how to get the bank to give you the resources, the financial resources to pursue your business, to pursue your project without necessarily having the cash. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where she talked about assets. And let me break it down because Queen is knowledgeable. So she's speaking from a knowledgeable point of view, but I'm speaking from the one who doesn't know. Okay, and this is what the person said. He says, let's just say you open and what do you call it? You get an asset, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the asset can just be about $1 million life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you put it, where do you put it? In some kind of account. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so when I go to the bank and I'm looking for $100,000, I may not have the money, but they see that I have an asset.
Mm-hmm.
of $1 million. If I have an asset of $1 million, 100,000 is just about 10% of my assets.
Right.
So the bank can look at it and give me what I need, and give me what I need to support it so that it doesn't become a burden. And as you do your project, you pay off that money, you continue to pay off that money. It's building your credit, it's building your credibility with the bank, it's developing a relationship. You are having projects that's making you money. And and
Mm-hmm.
yet, and yet you don't have cash. You don't necessarily have $1 million sitting anywhere. Assets based. So there's a wisdom to the way you were talking about Elon Musk. I'll let you go with my uneducated self. You were talking, but the wisdom is this: how do we fund our resources? I've heard so many things about living a will, living like if I had a house and I want to leave it to my son, rather than leave him there, I put the house in a trust, right? Put the thing in a trust. So what are the dynamics of these things?
Mm-hmm.
It's a wisdom and it's something we all need to learn. Because the rich are getting richer. But the rich is not the one who has a whole lot of financial wealth. It's the
Mm-hmm.
one who has financial wisdom.
Have you ever noticed? I well, I won't say that. It's been brought to my attention, and you can see it a lot of times on social media. You'll walk by people that look like you and I, and they're dressed like we're dressed, like you're in, in a average car, and they're millionaires. My point to that is people that understand wealth, that are financially wealthy, you don't know they are.
They
They
don't
don't dress.
flaunt
They don't. They wear little Skechers and whatever, Walmart t-shirts too, because they understand that they don't need to spend all this money looking glamorous when they can just make the clothes and have somebody else do it, because that's what people like. People like to spend $2,000 on handbags and you don't have $20 in your
in the
wallet.
handbag.
So why would they, they know better. They know that it's asinine to spend all this money and have no wealth. You have on $200 Jordans and you're on the bus. Where's the sense in that? And every time some Jordans come out, you're buying the new Jordans, but you have no provision to put a down payment on a car. See, that's where it comes in with the mindset. I wanted to share with you really quickly. Sorry to interrupt this really quickly. Grand Rising King Sean. Sean A. White is in the building. You all please send your prayers to him and his family. He has some personal things going on, and that is his business to share. But we want to wish him well, him and his family well while they're going through. And we love you. So yes, thank you for
We
being here.
appreciate you.
Yes. What was I going to say? Hold on. Oh, so
You were
with the wealthy,
sharing.
mhm, with the wealthy, the funny thing is, and I learned this some time ago, and I will say before I continue that I do have some knowledge in finances just because I've done my research. I am not a financial advisor. So do your own research or you can pay for a financial advisor. I'm just giving the wisdom that I understand and that I've been taught and invested my time into learning. So there's that disclaimer. But with the banks, when we're putting our money into banks, have you ever seen situations where you have to say you have, I don't know, you have $500,000 in the bank and you want to go, a lot of times, if you want to go and pull all that money out, I'm tired of dealing with Huntington or Chase or Fifth Third, whatever. I want to pull all that money out. They make you wait. You need to set an appointment. You might have to wait a day or so. They might want you to talk to a manager. Do you all know why? Let me tell you
Why?
why. Because they don't have money there. They don't have your money there. When you put your payroll check into the bank, whatever you get, you direct deposit, however you want to do it, that money, the banks are only required, I believe it's like 10% of your money that they're required to have on hand. The rest of that money they use to invest in stocks and bonds. The banks don't have any money. They're using your money and they're betting off of your money. That's why it's interesting when people are afraid to talk about. I won't go into crypto. That's not my area of expertise. I might dabble in it, but that's not my area of expertise. But when we're talking about stocks and bonds, people are afraid of that. But that is the only reason that this currency thing has continued to operate like it has, because they're using your money to invest in things. And the very thing that you're scared to invest in, that's where your money is anyways. They just used it. You're not using it. But they've certainly put your money in to Tesla and Amazon and whatever else is going on in the stock market. When the pandemic hit, how do you think they got rich? They took all your money and invested that money. They gave you $5,000. They gave you all this money to sit home, but you put that money in the bank, and they're using your money to bet on stocks that bet on our lives. I'm gonna stop right there with that. So just think about that, and that's why I think it's so important that you don't put all your eggs in one basket. That you do spread your finances, and I'm gonna stop here because I don't want to go too far off. But it's very your money is going. I'm gonna stop there, Queen.
No, I'm going back to you because this is very interesting. Look at what Queen says, that they have a huge ROI. That's what rate of investment, what? Return on investment. They have a huge return on
Mhm.
investment on your money. So,
Mhm.
and because it's a pool, it's my money, your money, this money, or they get a big money amounts, a huge amount of money to
Mhm.
invest.
Mhm.
Wow. You know,
Yeah.
when I was growing up, let me share this with you. In Ghana, we have what we call susu. Susu. And I think some people are doing it here.
Mhm.
Susu is a pool of money. So maybe 10 friends will come together. Okay. So it's the same with Social Security. 10 friends will come together. And every month, we will all put $500 in a pool. So when we get all the
Mhm.
$500, for this month, we give them all the money. Let's just 10 friends. So 500 times 10 is what? Is it 5,000?
1,000. Yes.
We give it to Queen
Yes.
G. The following month, you give it to Edith. The following month, we give it to the Queen Mother Randa. The following month, we give it to Queen Kathy. And every month. So this is what we did when we were growing up. So we know
Mhm.
that together we will collect. What I've heard
Mhm.
some families do is they come together, pool their resources, and invest in each other's businesses. So this month,
Mhm.
I put in Queen G's business. The next one, rather than picking, as long as all people are faithful, it's your money coming to you. Because ultimately, you're going to give the 510 times so that, or 9 times, so that each person will get their share. That's a
Mhm.
wise thing to do. And maybe you can take the 5,000 and invest it somewhere. Okay, so we need
Mhm.
to figure out on our level at this point how we're going to raise
Mhm.
resources to support each other and to support businesses so that we can all grow together. Because right now, nobody is going to give you money without a whole lot of interest. And many of us,
Mhm.
we can get it. And money
Mhm.
has become one of the biggest sources of stress. One day I'd like us to come on and talk about, get a few entrepreneurs and talk about entrepreneurship and the challenges
Mhm.
we have to deal with every day in our businesses. It's a huge
Mhm.
deal because the bank wants to
Absolutely.
see so much money before they support you. So, Queen,
Mhm.
how do we move forward from here, knowing what we know about? I wonder why they made it National Money Day or National Talk About Money Day. I wonder. I've
I'm
never
gonna look.
heard this before.
I'm gonna look real quick. So I look at nationaltoday.com for, and they give you a holiday for every single day of the year. So it's nationaltoday.com. And that's where I found that. And it was the most interesting topic. And I will put this on the Facebook page and the YouTube page under posts. So let me look and kind of break that down. And while I'm looking at that, I'm gonna answer your question. But really quickly, I want to say something and respond to Sean. Good, cool beans on the treasure. Let me tell you, with this susu, I know, and Sean's right. We did it. I've done it a couple times. Queen, how many times did you do it? Do you think the
When I
susu?
was
Do you
growing up, we
remember?
did it all the time. I mean, we were little, we'll do it for holiday presents, we'll do it for to buy ourselves gifts. I was little, didn't know
Mm-hmm.
much about money still, and in Ghana we don't have a credit card system. You get your
Okay.
cash, you buy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we buy from cash or in
Okay.
some form of a credit. Like, so I'll come to you, you look at my, like we do here, how much money am I making, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And every month I have a bank account and you take it out from my page, that, my direct deposit every month. But when I was growing up, there was no credit card, there was nothing. So it's whatever money you get.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it to get Christmas holiday presents for my family and friends. And I did it
Okay.
more when I
So
had
you
my
bring the
first boyfriend.
okay.
I wanted to
You
impress
bring
him
a
with a
very
gift.
and so you brought up something very interesting. That's cool. You brought something very interesting because I know, and that's why I asked you how long you know how many times you did it. So I've done it twice here, and King Sean said the same here. And I know they brought the fact that it was from a lot of African traditions or whatnot, and it sounds like you all were honest with it, right? Thank you, Queen Mother, for that. Um, but I've done it twice. I've put in, and I did it for me and my husband. So I think did like $200 for each of us, and it went around and it just stopped. So what King Sean is saying about being trustworthy is a big deal because that's going back to what you were talking about, money being the root of all evil. When we're talking
The
about evil, the
love, the
word
love
evil,
of money.
the love of money, yeah. So when we're talking about that, the word evil means profound immorality or wickedness. So immorality is immoral. If I'm putting into something, why would you not participate? Now you've got yours, and now you've left everybody else unstuck. And so that's what we're talking about when it comes to the love of money, because we're not that greed and that lack of consideration for all of us to evolve. And it's not just about money; is a problem. So to King Sean's point, if I were a treasurer, and if anybody chooses to do that, because like I said, I know a lot of people have done it. I just gotten the wrong ones, and they were friends of mine, but it was their friend, my friend's family, and their friend. I don't know y'all. So with your money and guarding your money, I tell you what, if any of you, and I'm gonna leave it here, if any of you all are thinking about doing something like that, I would suggest having it contractual bound and obligated. I've been watching a lot of Judge Judy and Hot Bench Yow because we can go to court over 500. Because my point is because somebody didn't have that money, somebody didn't have the extra $100 or $50 to spend, and it was a trust factor, to grow your wealth. And when you let people manipulate your finances, there you go with everything else as far as emotional and mental breakdown. Don't mess with my money. And that's real.
Right.
So just
Right.
keep that in mind when you're messing around with money. When you're letting people borrow money,
And
make
you
it
know,
contractual.
one
I'm
other
sorry,
way
it's not
I'm
personal.
thinking about it, you can collect all the monies and give nobody the money until maybe a year. Everybody has contributed. Then, whilst we are
Mm-hmm.
collecting the money, we probably put it in some kind of investment pool, right? So, for example,
Mm-hmm.
there are 10 of us, we're giving, let's just say $100, right? So, every month we collect 1,000, right? We
Mm-hmm.
put it in an investment pool every month. So, after 10 months,
Mm-hmm.
when everybody has contributed 10 times, we the money is already in an investment pool. We decide that, okay, we've contributed, so a
Mm-hmm.
thousand times 10 is 10,000, right? That way, if you pull out, we still have the money you gave, and we can just give you the money, your money back.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So I don't even know why this thing came into
Absolutely,
this,
yes.
That way we know that
Yeah.
if you pull out, you've not taken anybody's money. And at the end of the day, if we decide to
Mhm.
invest it, we have something we can go for. We can pull up half of the money, leave the half into an investment. It's a kind of susu is savings. In my language, susu means
Mhm.
savings. When I say, oh, me susu and I mean face susu, it means I'm saving money. And sometimes it's
Mhm.
difficult to save because challenges come. But what if you don't
Mhm.
have access to the money? So if I'm putting my $100 in an account every month for 10 months, it's my
Mhm.
money, or for 1 year, it's my
Mhm.
money. I just don't have access to it.
Mhm.
At the end
That's
of
a
the
great
year,
idea.
it's a savings still.
Mhm.
At the end of the year, if we want to pull out your money, you pull it. If you want to pull some, you pull it. If you want
Mhm.
to be part of the investment pool, we do it. So that
Mhm.
way we have found a way to save money and keep it for the end of the year and maybe do something with it. And we have to start somewhere. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be 500. It can even be
Mhm.
$50. But the little you can put away is better
Mhm.
than putting nothing away at all. And we got
Mhm.
to be wise about these things. Come together. These are how the banks are formed. We can have the money and have
Mhm.
a bank.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Queen.
We can
That's what
have
I'm
the
talking
money and have a bank. Why
about.
continue to
Mhm.
struggle?
Mhm.
We can have the
Mhm.
money and have a bank. We can have the money and buy a senior living facility.
There you go.
We can
There you
have the
go.
money and start something.
Mhm.
And we can't be selfish because it's not got to be only it is doing it. And that's
Mhm.
why a lot of the time we are not going anywhere.
Mhm.
The people
Yep.
at the top pool resources together and they get a whole lot of things and they go.
Mhm.
But we are so little minded.
Mhm. Absolutely.
It's
And that's
money
why when
talks.
I
So
heard you
let's talk.
say, I don't know how we got on the Susu thing, but I know you mentioned, but I think it was a good idea because you did mention it, and it is a great idea. And I'm glad you went into it deeper and explained it because I don't want people to hear things and then jump into something and be disappointed because you don't know what you're doing. So that's it for all you listening. That's why we want to go ahead and it's on topic because we don't want anyone to make, rash decisions and get into something trying to make a quick buck and something happens. So that's why, if we're talking about something, we want you all to have some clear understanding and awareness of what's going on. GoFundMe account. And yep, and that replaces the GoFundMe account. Yep, yep, yep. So absolutely. Oh, really quickly before, because I know you got some stuff to say. I wanted to tell you, I wanted to go back because I was looking at it. I want to share with you, Queen Edith was talking earlier about the definition of holistic wealth. I'm going to read this definition. It says it refers to a comprehensive approach to wealth that encompasses various elements beyond just financial assets that include financial savvy and independence, understanding and managing your finances effectively. Two is life purpose and mission, having a clear sense of direction and meaning in life. Three is spiritual connection, recognizing the importance of spiritual well-being. And then the fourth one is emotional and physical health, balancing emotional prosperity and physical well-being. And then it says this concept emphasizes achieving a balance. Remember, I said that earlier, a balance between these aspects to foster a greater sense of wholeness and resilience in life. So I wanted to break that down to you all because I came across it and
Yeah.
Queen brought it up. So, yes. So there you go with that. There you go with that. So all that ties in with being whole, being whole. And I've always said with clearest conscience, you can't, for me, with um, holistic lifestyle coaching, it's a holistic approach because it's really difficult. Queen, you mentioned peace. It's difficult to function in peace when there's no balance. And a lot of times it's hard for us to balance out all of these aspects. My finances are okay, but my mental's not good. My health is okay, but my spirit's not good, you know, and it just all kind of trickles down. So that is why the holistic approach is so important, and learning how to address those things in a healthy way, you know, so when you do get your finances together and have that abundance, you can enjoy the ride, take a vacation, take a break, and enjoy the peace, enjoy the mental well being, enjoy the physical health, you know. So, yeah, yep. Queen.
Yeah, I mean, yes, this is very important because you may be able to afford $100 a month savings, okay, but you can't when you put it in your account, okay, and something comes up, it's easy to pull out. So we
Mm-hmm.
need to figure out how we're going to gather some money because I feel like so many of us are struggling financially, not because we don't get the money, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to manage it. We don't have that wholeness financially. We are
Mm-hmm.
not able to manage it properly. Okay. And I feel like starting somewhere where you can put your money at a place where you can trust and
Mm-hmm.
yet not have access to it.
Mm-hmm.
That no matter what happens, you're going to continue to do that saving. At the end of the year, you have a bulk amount of money which normally you wouldn't have because you would
Mm-hmm.
have spent it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to ask how many of us have saved $100 every month, or let's just say $50 every month in the year 2025 consistently? It's a question I want to ask. How many of us have put that money down? That no
Mm-hmm.
matter what is going on in your life. Because what I hear financial experts say is that you spend what is left after saving first, paying your bills second,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You spend what you is left after saving. How many of us are living that? How many of us are making savings a priority?
Mm-hmm.
If you had to pull your savings account right now,
Mm-hmm.
if you have it, how much do you have in it?
I'll say this. I'm going to give you an answer. I know I've had to be diligent with it, and what I've done, and you all can find it in the description, in the link, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. But I use Acorns, and you all have heard me talk about it before. But I use Acorns, and so when I bank with Chase, but a percentage of my payroll check goes to Acorns. And with that, and I promote it so big because it does give you that very opportunity you're talking about, Queen. So with that, I have, you know, my checking, then I have a savings, and the interest, there's a high yield interest on it. So I know a lot of checkings accounts don't have interest. This does. But then it also, I have an emergency fund, and I have a retirement fund. I also have an investment fund as far as stocks and bonds. All that in one place. My children, I have an account for them, and you know I put money in there every month. And when they're, you have to be, my youngest son, he has to turn 24, I think, to pull it out. But it has high interest. So I have that in the link. You guys check that out. If you go there, if you click that link that I have in the description, it is an affiliate link. And if you click on there, it's on my website, but there's a whole bunch of other little links too, as far as financial resources. But with that, that has allowed me to be responsible and put that money in. So when it hits my Chase account, my payroll check is my Chase account every 10th of the month, automatically it goes $100 to my emergency, $100 to my retirement, $100 to, you know, and you can change it however you want to. But that is a great way to um, save and balance out your money. You have options all in one spot. So you guys check that out.
See, she doesn't, the money she spends the money. No, the money she spends is the only money that comes into her account.
Mm-hmm.
That way she learns to also spend responsibly. Because
Mm-hmm.
even if she's making, let's just say 800 per paycheck, it's only 500 that's coming into her hands. So she lives by the 500.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot say I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot say I do the same thing, but it's wisdom
Mm-hmm.
that we can learn. That's number one. Number two, it doesn't also stop us from doing these collectings and adding
Mm-hmm.
it to wherever they are going to be
Mm-hmm.
added. So, high interest rate. You know, the poorer you are, the more money you spend.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying your bill late.
Mm-hmm.
You have a debt every week, every month. There's an
Mm-hmm.
interest going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to figure out how to be diligent.
Mm-hmm.
Last month, I started doing a spreadsheet of my finances, my debts,
Mm-hmm.
and boy, it's scary to look at it. But the Bible talk, and I'll go back, it says make the vision plain. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you're thinking about goals, but make it plain means whatever it is you're working towards, put it in writing, look at it, get
Mm-hmm.
scared, and figure out how to remove the fear factor or have still the fear factor and work on it anyway. So
Let me
one
ask
of
you an
my
important question before you go on. Let me ask. No, go ahead, please. I remember. Go ahead.
no,
I wanted to ask you. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want everybody to understand this. For you, let me ask, why do you feel when you said it was when you look at it is scary? Can you explain? Because I feel like a lot of us when we see our bills come in, I don't open my bills. I let my husband do it. I know when it's due. I just pay. But it's scary when you look at your credit, report. When you look at what's coming in, going out. For a lot of us, it is scary. Can you share what your thought of that is? Beforehand, even seeing it, what is the fear or with that from your point of view?
you look at your bills, you look at your debts, you're looking at what you owe as opposed to together with what your income ratio is, and it's high. And it
Mhm.
gives you anxiety because you
Mhm.
can't figure out a way out. We get very anxious about situations when we don't have a plan.
Mhm. Mhm.
When we don't have, so I'm looking at it and I don't have a plan, and it's so huge, and I'm scared. Will I ever
Mhm.
be able to take care of this?
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
but if it is in your view, you see, and this fear factor has been there with me, and I'm being honest, this is Edith on the line. Has been there with me for a long time. And
Mhm.
because of the fear, like you said, you don't open your mail, you don't open. Sometimes the mailman will have to bring the mail to me, and I'll take my time and sit down and pray, Lord, give me the courage. And I'll gather all the bills and I'll start
Mhm.
writing down, okay, I owe this year. If I'm making this, if I need, sometimes we need to even figure out ways to bring in extra income to pay. So that way you have a plan, you have a goal, you have a target, you're
Mhm.
working toward it.
Right.
Okay. The fear factor is not having a plan and not knowing how. And and
Mhm.
what happens is that you become, it kind of paralyzes you.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
paralyzes you. But when you face it head on, you realize that and you have a plan. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter how little, but you have a plan. Some of
Mhm.
it you can call the creditors. And if
Mhm.
you have, you can negotiate it down if you are ready to pay. That's why I'm thinking this susu say, like, okay, I
Mhm.
owe this so much money. Okay, maybe if I can put $100 somewhere, however, and every month use it as a savings and tackle this one big debt so as soon as I have the money and pay it off. But the
Mhm.
fear is I don't have a plan. I
Mhm.
don't know how. And I have
Mhm.
felt the push to write it down for so
Mhm.
long and I have ignored it.
It causes
But
anxiety when
now,
you even think about it. It can cause
yes,
anxiety.
it's anxiety,
Mhm.
it's paralyzing. But now
Mhm.
that I'm putting it down, I'm looking at it. This morning I
Mhm.
was looking, then it went into my credit history, whatever they call it, and I was looking
Mhm.
at what is in there that
Mhm.
is hurting me.
Mhm.
I looked at it this morning. I took a screenshot of it
Mhm.
because I have to get this right. I'm doing well in almost every area of my life except that.
Mhm.
And I have to get it together. We have to get it together. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be fearful. But once I see it, I know
Mhm.
when to not go buy food all the time to eat.
Yes. Yeah, can somebody, anybody put a one in the chat if they can, if they understand what she is saying, what we're saying, if you can relate to the reality of that, because I feel like it's a lot of us, you know. And again, this is a conversation about money. Let's talk about it. A one in the chat if you relate to that, and there's no shame if you don't want to. That's fine. And two in the chat if you don't, you can't relate. That ain't me. If you can't relate, put it two. Because, and I asked you, and thank you for sharing that. I asked you what the fear was, because I want you all to look at it like this. Okay, if you're thinking one, if you put one, I want you to think this. And I can agree with Queen. I think everything she just said, I'm sure it was saying the same thing that we've all said or thought. I promise you, more times than not, on the spot. But think of it like this: when we are afraid, like that, and it is paralyzing. It's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. You know, you lay in bed depressed. It's all of that. That's where that holistic part comes in. Like she said, everything else is in order except the financial part. Once she gets this financial part in order, right? For instance, you know, she's got the church, she's got charismatic ministry, she's got the therapy business, she's got peak home care associates. All of that will come into play. Now there's less stress, less concern, less, you know, so it all goes together. But if we look at it like this, where, thank you, Queen Mother, for sharing that. If we look at it like this, where I'm afraid to look at the bills, I'm afraid to address it. How about this? I'm afraid that if I don't address it, it's going to stay the same. I'm afraid that
Or
if I
get
don't address it,
worse.
it's going to get worse. Think
Or
about that.
or get
So,
worse because ignoring it doesn't make it go away.
mm-mm,
Ignoring it does not make it go away. I've been talking to my very good friend Ida who lives in Virginia. She picks, I think she gets every Sunday, she sits down, sorts out her meal, sorts out her bills every Sunday, goes through them and pays the ones which will be due during the week.
mm-hmm,
And even if she doesn't have all the money to pay all, she talks to them and make part payment or makes
mm-hmm,
a payment plan so that she's able to. She is on top of it. One thing I've learned from the Bible is that anything you keep hidden continues to grow and hurt you. If you continue, if you hiding it, if you are hiding it so much, it can continue to hurt you. It's gonna fester, it's gonna cause you that anxiety. And because I don't want to know, it's a part of me that I know, but I don't know, it's hidden, it's kept under.
mm-hmm,
And it's
mm-hmm,
continuing to grow and fester.
mm-hmm.
So it
Yep.
may be scary, but take a good look at it and have a plan.
Mm-hmm,
And have a plan. Write it all down. Look at it
mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
begin to have a plan.
Mm-hmm,
Begin to have a plan. Look at your income.
mm-hmm,
Look at your other, oh yeah, your resources.
mm-hmm,
Where is my money even going? Where is
mm-hmm,
most of your money going? Before you give it away,
mm-hmm,
you have to take care of home first.
mm-hmm,
And it's time we all become wise. I know what I'm talking about because I've lived it and I'm not afraid to say it.
mm-hmm.
Okay? Because I do know that one of these days I'm coming back to tell you what I have done and how successful I've been. But if we're not talking about it, that fear of looking bad,
Mm-hmm.
because what? Who cares who judges you?
Mm-hmm.
There is a problem. There is a disease because it's making you uneasy.
Mm-hmm.
It's pulling you back from everything you could have been because you're fearful. You've lost confidence in that area. Let's fix it. Let's talk about it. That's the thing about me. I am so plain, or what do you call it? I'm so blunt with my life and my life situations that sometimes people think I'm joking about it. But you know what? If you don't talk about your disease, the doctor cannot help you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's enough talking for me for a long time. I've talked and I've feared. But why am I fearful?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a plan. But the moment you decide to plan it, you decide to tackle it, I'm telling you that the resources will come. They are
Mm-hmm.
there. You're just taking it in the wrong places because this side you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And you're living like, and that's why I say I have an avoidant personality. I avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
I won't deal with it. And yet it's not helping. It's
Yeah.
hurting. It's not just not helping, but it is also hurting
Mm-hmm.
and destroying a lot of things. So think about your finances. Find a notebook and start writing things down.
Mm-hmm.
How much money did I make? And how much did you give away? I promise you. How much did you give away
Mm-hmm.
without still considering your bills?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And
So
I know we're almost out of time. You said something earlier about paying yourself first. And that is a strange concept for a lot of us, paying yourself first before you pay your bills. And here's the thing, when we're talking about that, it's not paying yourself to go on vacation or getting your nails done or, going on a shopping spree. What that is putting something aside to set yourself up for success. So again, if you got an $800 check, I know that I'm gonna at least save $100, $50, $200. So I know if I'm saving $200, then all I really have coming in is $600. But you make sure you do that, and because that's all you have now, how do you budget that? How do you pay this and that? Well, the light bill and the gas bill are due. Something I've learned to do, however you get paid, if you're getting paid, I don't know, on the 10th and the light bill's due on the 5th, now you've got a late fee every time. So instead of paying it on the 10th because it's doing the 6th, you have two checks, right? Take that check, that
the
check
last check,
before, and pay ahead of time, because that $6, late fee, $10 late fee, it adds up. So you have to think like that, how to move your money around. Something else I'll do, I'll give you a couple more pointers around get I'll let Queen take us out, unless she has something else to say. But a couple other things I do when I get paid, I told you about the acorns and how that money goes there. Before I see it, I make sure it comes out. I always do things like 2 days after a payday. So you all think about that. If you're doing automatic payments, make sure you're doing it a couple days after a payday, just in case something happens and something's delayed and you don't want to overdraft or anything like that. So it gives you time that money there. But I also I take out at least $100 every check, cash, and I put it aside. Cash under your mattress or your bed or in closet, whatever, does not grow interest. But what happens is there's been times when I learned to do that during the pandemic. I learned when my money's funny, and now I've got a $5 overdraft. So before I have a $35, fee, I'm pulling that $100 out and putting it into my account to sustain me. That's extra money for just in case of those kind of things. Something else you can do. I know I drive a lot with for work. I spend a lot of money on gas. Cash App is funny, but I know how much I typically spend a week on a paycheck on gas. I move that money over to my Cash App card. So if this is my money for gas, and even if I don't use all of it, I still put the same amount in every time. So if something happens, now I have a little reserve to play with. So just things like that. I know I'm almost done, I promise. I just want to give you all these resources. I know Queen talked about doing a notebook. I do personally prefer pen and paper. I know a lot of us like to be on our computers and on the phone and have these apps, but I know I love Microsoft Word. I love, is it PowerPoint? I like Microsoft.
I'm using the Excel
Excel,
spreadsheets.
yep. Excel is great. There you can choose all kinds of budgeting apps, investing apps, saving, all kinds of things. You can go look at that. I will tell you, let's talk about using some wisdom. I tell you, I paid, I think, $12.99 a month, because I think it's my husband on. So it's $12.99 a month for all that stuff. But I love the spreadsheets, and they just kind of, it puts things in, and adds it up for you automatically,
So
right?
12.99 a month on what? What's the name of the app?
For Microsoft Word, for my Microsoft Word software.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
For the Excel spreadsheets. There's the
right.
Excel, there's the
Yeah. So
PowerPoint, there's
all
the
that's
Word,
on there.
the Office
So
suite.
that's
Yes.
what I pay. But I want to tell you all, I think it's a good resource to use because, like I said, it kind of plugs everything in. I have a link in the description on both pages. And this is not an affiliate thing. I'm just here to help you all. If you go to Groupon, you can get Microsoft Office for $20 for a lifetime. It's normally like $150. You can get it for $20 on Groupon. That link is in the description. And again, I'm not making any money off of this. I'm trying to tell you to help you all. So if that's something you're looking for, I know money's funny and it's ignorant that I don't have it. I didn't pay for it. I'm still paying $12 a month instead of just getting this darn thing. You see how we did the wisdom, when it comes to, well, let's use some common sense. I'm talking to myself now. So look at that. And the last thing I have in that description, and I just threw this in there because I didn't know what we were going to cover per se today, how far we we're going to go. But and then we didn't touch on it, but I do have a link. And again, this is not an affiliate link. I'm not getting paid to tell you all, but I do use Skill Success. I mean, this is more like an entrepreneur kind of conversation. Again, I didn't know how far we we're going to go, but I use Skill Success for thousands and thousands and thousands of courses that I pay $10 a month for. You can get a lifetime membership for $100. Again, not using no sense. Need to just take some time and fix that. But they're courses that allow you to learn things like talking about money, talking about finances, how to teach classes on talking about finances, therapy, how to teach classes on therapy, dieting, anything you can think of, science, AI, anything. So if you are looking to have extra income, these are resources to help you evolve. So check those out in the link in the descriptions, please and thank you. One last thing, I'm gonna let Queen turn it over. I just want to give you all these resources, just throw it at you. Make sure you all look at our posts on YouTube. I promise you I'm doing better with this. We have a
I've
poll.
posted it in the chat.
Okay.
I
We have a
posted the polls in the chat. Yes.
okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, check out that poll. We want to hear what you all want to we want to know what you all want to hear about. So it's just a quick poll, just anonymous, what you all want us to talk about. So make sure you keep up with our posts. If you're not seeing us live, see if we put something on there, especially on YouTube, as far as updating you on some things. So yes, we love you and appreciate your supports and your engagement and connection with doing that. So thank you. Queen, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Well, I was going to talk about the polls for from YouTube. The link is in the chat. Please,
Okay.
like Queen said, go ahead and let us know what you want to hear, because we want to bring you something you would like for next year, especially starting next year. We would like to actually have a little bit of all of it, because I think they all
Mhm.
matter. They all go to the holistic,
Mhm.
nature of who we are. So I'd like you to please go ahead and encourage you to share it with your friends. And and I also will encourage you, please invite your friends to the Peak Wellness Hour. Let's increase our views. Okay. I
Mhm.
think next year we're gonna do a whole lot of TikTok videos as well. We're gonna get into TikTok. We're gonna do a lot of TikTok videos, even if we will talk for 10 minutes. Take a subject and talk about it for 10 minutes, quick ones. We're going to go ahead and do that next year. So please invite friends, invite family. And if this has been anything, any good resource to you, invite friends and family. It could be a source of income for us as well. It's helpful.
Absolutely.
So please go ahead and do that. Thank you so much.
Yes. One more thing, Queen. I'm sorry before you close us out. You all again check those polls because I do want to do a poll on what days would be good for you all. If we were to do continued conversations, and that's what our goal is, to start branch out doing conversations. We love doing the part ones and part twos, but if we can have discussions and do broadcasts on a different day, we want to know what days and what times work good for you all to be engaged in those conversations so we can dive deeper into like these topics, whatever we're talking about. And we can kind of get a little more engagement and one-on-one. I don't know how we'll do it on Zoom. We can do it interactive, but please check that out this weekend. I'll put that on there and let us know because we want to structure something I know King Sean again has got some stuff going on, but he's live a lot of times with a lot of information. Queen Edith is on Zoom every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you all enjoy the spiritual aspect and the faith-based knowledge, that is a great place to be on a Wednesday evening, and I'd stay up for that one. So my Queen Mother was there this past Wednesday. I was so excited. She was excited. We had a great time. Um, this queen brings something. This pastor Queen Edith brings something totally different to the table when it comes to spiritual wealth and growth. So we want to hear from you. We want you all to be able to connect with us even outside of the Saturday mornings and just keep growing with you all. So please do that. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, King Sean. Proud of you too. Thank you. Queen, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say nothing else. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish my brother-in-law, Apostle Dr. K, that's what I call him. I call him Dr. K, a very happy birthday. And I don't know if you all remember Apostle Mike. It's almost a year now since CEM Indiana was launched. November 16th or November 17th, 2024 was the date. So I don't know how I'm gonna celebrate it this year, but we'll figure it out. But I also want to wish Apostle Mike, his 60th birthday is tomorrow. His 60th birthday. Queen, you talked to him a few times. It's tomorrow.
Yes.
So I'm wishing Apostle Michael our tree and my own Apostle Dr. K, my brother-in-law, an amazing happy birthday. Apostle Mike is tomorrow, and my brother-in-law is today. So happy birthday, my dear men in the ministry. God bless you all, and I wish you the
Yes.
God's best for everything you do for the kingdom. Amen. Well, friends and family, we've come to the end. It's Money Talk today, Saturday, November 8th. We've started the conversation. Let's keep it going. Keep it going at home. If you want to chat more, we do have a WhatsApp chat page,
We
which we have
do.
not been using. So if you will, we don't know how to get your numbers, but we want to talk about money. We want to talk about how we can all be better next,
Mhm.
starting today through the end of next year. See if we can be better with our finances, okay? Because it is a source of strength for many. And I just want to also add that the love of money is the root of evil, means that when you put money above all and you don't care about your fellow humanity, money becomes evil. But when you have money, it helps a lot in so many ways. When we
Mhm.
have done our due diligence in our own homes, taking care of our homes, it
Mhm.
will be great that we can use a little of the extra to be a blessing to others. Some of us are doing it the other way. We've also learned that susu is a Ghana word. It's a word from Ghana. I don't know if other African, but it's a word from Ghana. Susu means savings. So, and we've learned that we need to save and spend what is left after saving. Budget with what is left after saving. We're
Mhm.
gonna need this. We're gonna figure out how to invest what little savings we have in high yield interest. Queen has talked about acorns over and over and over and over again. It is time. It is basic, it is simple. Some
Mhm.
places have that when you buy something, the change that is left over can be put in savings, and you don't know. Listen, I've saved changes to for over and had over $200, and I have change in my car, in my home, everywhere I get. Sometimes I'll go out of my way, take a $50, change it into get change and pour it in my coin, in my change
Mhm.
containers, so I don't spend it because I just love looking at it. Who knows? There are so many little ways we can start putting money away, and you never know
Mhm.
where that will go. It's so important. Let's save before we spend. It is said that you have to have at least 3 months of your bill money stashed away somewhere in case something happens to you. What happens to you today when you lose your job? When you don't
Mhm.
have any income? Do you even have 1 month? to pay your bills. That extra month money starts somewhere. Let's
Mhm.
think, let's be wise, and let's figure out resources to grow our money. God bless you so much. Thank you for being here. We love you. We appreciate you. Until we come your way next time. This is Edith and Queen G.
Peace, love, and blessings.